On your marks. Get set.
What the opposition is. Security and just know what our position is. More than conquerors, so say no longer rulers. No more flight, but we fight faithfully for the future. We win.
Welcome back, everybody. Our perspective, your perspective. This is Bench Perspective. A lot's going on in the NBA, and with 11 games left, you kind of want to be playing your best.
Yeah.
But there's a few teams that we want to talk about that have a lot of injuries, and we think it might affect their outlook for the rest of the season and into the playoffs. So that's what we're going to discuss. Can we get your perspective, Ashley?
Yeah, there are a lot of people on the sick and shut-in list throughout the NBA, but particularly on some of the
playoff teams.
Yeah, the playoff teams,
Yeah.
some of the favorites, and it could be iffy. I mean, you know, when you have one starter out, that's one thing. But when you have like the complete starting five,
your starting lineups out.
I mean, that kind of shakes up the game a little bit, especially going into the playoffs.
Yeah. You know, I think that you should be worried from a perspective of confidence in the body part that's hurting.
Right.
I mean, as an athlete yourself, you know that, hey, if my ankle's hurting, well, my body carries, the weight is carried on my ankle, and I'm not having full confidence when I'm running up and down the court, dribbling between my legs and all this other stuff. And so I'm kind of concerned for Steph Curry more than any other player because they're expected to win the championship. He's expected to be that go-to piece for them who's going to penetrate and dish and shoot those outside shots. And if he doesn't have full confidence in his game, I don't know, man. The Houston Rockets are looking pretty good without any injuries.
Exactly.
Any big injuries. And, you know, they can possibly take them out, possibly.
Yeah, see, that's the situation, because when it was just Steph, my confidence was still high. Simply because, you know, at the beginning of the season, Steph was out. And they did well. They still won games. But now with Klay
Thompson,
KD,
that is huge because his thumb on his shooting hand is injured.
Yeah, and see, well, okay. Here's the thing. Here's the issue with me with Klay. You know, Steph had this big 30th birthday party. And he slipped. He could have got injured. I was like, come on, dude. Like, seriously. And then, like, right after that, the same week, he injures his thumb. So I'm just like, dude, I guess you, like, we're pretty much going to be injured anyway. But, you know, with 4 players now, with Draymond just here recently, 4 players out, it's kind of hard to be as confident. But at the same time, against the Spurs, they only scored 12 points in the fourth, but it was a low-scoring game. And on top of that, you know, just 12 points without 4 of your stars, that's kind of scary in a good way for the Warriors, because it means that they have depth on their bench.
For all the teams that have injuries right now, I'm least concerned about the Warriors in totality because they're used to playing with each other. You had a lot of teams that came together, you know, this season or at the end of the season in the case of the Cavaliers, and they're missing 2 of the players that they just got out of the 4 who are supposed to be, you know, pieces that actually, you know, give something in Larry Nance and Rodney Hood. And so I'm more concerned about them because, hey, how are you going to get your chemistry together? How are you going to, you know, get, you know, that bond together, scheme and come up with a game plan when you're not even on the court? Kevin Love just got back. So, I mean, I'm kind of concerned for the Cavaliers, and this LeBron James has a huge hill to climb.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing about that. You know, he just kind of got over this with with his first team.
Yeah.
Because they had injuries. You know, Rose was out, IT was out. Mm-hmm. So they never really got to develop the chemistry that I think could have potentially put them in a better position.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So now LeBron is back in that same position, which, of course, you know, they had a great win, but and it doesn't really look like too much of a scare looking, you know, from the game of LeBron, but he's going to need a total team. He's not going to be able to go into the playoffs without a team just doing it himself. He's literally going to put too much pressure on himself without having injury. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm scared that if he tries to take this thing on by himself, being older now, you know, you don't want him to
He is an Iron Man, but nobody defies time.
Right.
Nobody defies time. And we didn't mention Tristan Thompson on the team, and he's supposed to be an integral part of what they do, getting rebounds, you know, the trash buckets and stuff like that. Without somebody down low, these bigger teams that have, you know, these teams that have big men, you can't really guard them except with maybe possibly Kevin Love, and he's not known as the best defender. Right. So that's what you had him there for, and he's been injured a lot this season.
He has been injured. He came back and he did really well, but you have to consider the fact that is he going to play in a manner where he's a little apprehensive.
Yeah.
So he's not going to probably take those hard blocks or fouls or make too much contact, simply because he's already been injured. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to be able to depend on him defensively, I don't think. Mm-hmm.
Another team that, you know, people were really excited about at the beginning of the season was the Boston Celtics. Yes. The Boston Celtics had the best record in the league for a while, and people were like, whoa, this team will definitely come out of the East, and you heard all, you know, the analysts and commentators talking about it. I never believed it personally because, you know, LeBron James is that great. Yeah. But now with Kyrie having knee issues that, you know, he was seriously considering having surgery before the season 4. Right. And, you know, Gordon Hayward is not even in. And then you have Marcus Smart not in. Mm-hmm. They may, I mean, they're not even in contention without all of those players. If Kyrie Irving isn't playing, nobody's even thinking about them.
Right. I mean, with Gordon at the beginning of the year, I felt like with him, the team, they were already doing great after his injury. Yeah. Doing excellent, actually.
They were.
But
kudos to the coach.
Yeah, I think that he could have really lit a fire with them continuing the great run that they were having. I did think that they were contenders simply because they were doing so great with the man down. Mm-hmm. I thought that they, you know, with the new trade when they played against the Cavaliers, I don't think that they were so much. I don't think that they were so much beat by the Cavaliers. I think they beat themselves, and then you know you can't really pick yourself back up after that momentum gets started with another team.
Oh yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, but with Boston and Kyrie, I mean, he's literally their go-to without Gordon.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
But yeah, so the only issue that I'm having with that is the fact that Gordon is not going to come back until like May 1st. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a possibility. We don't know if that's even going to happen, and that's going to be during the playoffs.
I hope not.
You know, and do you really want to risk that? Mm-hmm. You know, if you're not going to be able to contend, do you really want to risk bringing him back? You know, possibly, you know, re-injuring something when you have a good year ahead of you to look forward to.
Absolutely. If I'm Boston, I do not bring him back because you'll have a LeBron James that's 1 year older and Father Time is undefeated, and you still got, you know, Kyrie Irving who's on a questionable knee. Yeah. It's not worth it to bring him back. Yeah. We've discussed Boston, Cleveland, but I kind of think that the Thunder have a chance, and they Roberson got hurt. Yeah. But now they've brought Brewer on as you know, to replace him, and they've been winning. Yeah. And they're looking a lot better. What do you think about their chances with Roberson? You know, on the defensive end, they don't have his contributions, but now having you know, Brewer.
Well, see, that's the thing. Roberson was really good on defense. I'm talking about like massive on defense.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you're going up against these good offensive teams, that is going to be missed.
Oh yeah.
But that's just what I was going to earlier about depth. You know, OKC, when you bring, here's the good thing about injuries that I like. It's good and bad. Either you can expose hidden talent, or you can expose hidden weaknesses. You know, and so I think that with the depth that you have on your bench, when you can pretty much kind of replace the guy that started, you really aren't missing out on much, which is defense, what we're going to be missing. Then I think that they have a good chance to contend. But at the same time, the Warriors bench is so deep. You know, that's what that is exposing right now. That's the good thing about these injuries, is that it's really some exposure for how deep their bench is. And I think that whoever, I don't care what team it is, whoever's bench has the most depth, that's who's coming out, and that's what it's looking like right now.
Those rosters are shortened in the playoffs.
Yeah, it is.
You know, those seats are really warm for those bench players, for those non-starters. Their seats are real hot because they never stand up. It's glued to their butts.
What is that, like April the 12th when they have to turn in their the roster for the playoffs? I think it's somewhere like April 12th or whatever. So this is crunch time for them to make that decision.
Definitely.
Like, who's coming off this bench and making that much of an appearance that I don't have to warm the bench? Like, I don't have to sit and warm this seat.
With the injuries right now, I think that the Rockets have the best chance that they've ever had from the start of the season to now. But, you know, I do believe in the Warriors. That ankle holds the hopes of the Warriors team, all of that weight on it. And so, Curry, take care of yourself, man. Don't come back before you're ready, bro. Don't come back before you're ready, because I'm hoping that I need you to beat LeBron. Okay?
I mean, you're doing good. You're doing good. I mean, you know, honestly, I love the Warriors. Absolutely have the most confidence in them. But the Rockets are here. They are
and hungry.
Yes,
and
they are here. And they are making a statement.
MVP.
And they're definitely making sure that they are capitalizing on the fact that there are injuries.
Number one seeding, I think, will play a part in that Warriors-Houston matchup in the playoffs. On the Eastern side, you got LeBron James and the Raptors. That's my pick for the playoffs right now. Because of the injuries and everything that's going on.
And so, streak going. Raptors do.
So we covered all that. That's our perspective. We want your perspective. This is Bench Perspective.